Are you ready for these topics? Let me tell you. When we get into this, it's going to be some mess. Now, the first topic is definitely an update from the South Carolina Gamecocks basketball team. I previously reported that Ashlyn Watkins, which is a junior forward for the Gamecocks, was arrested. She was arrested on August 31st for first-degree assault and battery and kidnapping. And you can find these documents in case you just, want to know what I'm talking about or you want to see it for yourself. These documents are online at Richland County 5th Judicial Circuit Public Index. And obviously that's Richland County in South Carolina. Now, as of November the 1st, the charges have been dropped after she completed a first-time nonviolent offenders program. And then the judge, dropped the case. Really was like, you did the program. So that's great. And I wonder if it was kind of like how North Carolina has a thing called prayer for justice. And really, if you're a first time offender, you get into trouble for something and maybe, I can only speak for myself. When you get in trouble for something, I have a little need for speed. Okay. So I got in trouble once and I got a prayer for justice in North Carolina. And it essentially means like, it's kind of like wipes it out. Dismiss, you don't have it. But, if the judge wants you to do a class or course, a program or something, they want you to do it because they want you to learn your lesson. They don't want you to ever do it again. And as I've previously reported, Ashlyn got into this altercation with her girlfriend. In the first report, it was saying that it was a friend. The second report, it was saying a girlfriend. And remember, I told you guys, I was like, I don't know for sure, but the document said that it was her girlfriend. So I'm wondering as well, did the girlfriend actually come out and say anything and do it in court? You can probably find that in those papers. I didn't go, fully in depth into the papers. I did just see that the charges were dropped as of November the 1st and that she is due to be with the team. She's been practicing with the team ever since. Head coach Dawn Staley really said, it was a horrible mistake and it was hard on everybody that was involved, from the students to herself, to the lawyers, to the court, everybody, the school. It was hard and they want to move past it. They don't want to harp on it. They don't want to make it a situation where it's a thing, but she will be, playing against NC State on Sunday, which is tomorrow, but she will not be starting. She needs to get reacclimated to basketball, to come in the schedule, to doing her practices, all those things. But even her teammates were saying they're happy to see her back. She's an important part. She's a big part of the team. And when she's there, she makes a difference. And I just hope that this young lady really learns from this mistake. I really hope that she opens her eyes to what was happening and how so quickly things could change for the worse. And that's never what you want. That's never what you want to be involved in. That's never how you should want to see yourself. And that you have to, control your emotions before your emotions control you. And I feel like that's really what it was in the situation. They probably were just arguing and it just got out of hand a little bit too fast. But she's a star. And it's unfortunate. But when you are a star, you are held to a higher level of just like discipline, of emotional competence, and especially because the Gamecocks are such a powerhouse basketball team. And she's young, she's going to make mistakes. And I'm not saying that people don't make mistakes. I'm not saying that people don't deserve second chances, because they do. I was a person who got a second chance to turn my life around and went into the Army and everything. So I hope that she just learns from this and never, ever allows her emotions to get the best of her ever again. I would also suggest, I can't tell anybody what to do with their life, but for me, if I am with a person who makes me become that angry or who makes me bring out that side in me, I never, ever want to be involved with that person, simply because I don't want to turn into that person. I don't want to become angry. I don't want to be upset all the time, So, and again, I don't really know full fact of what was going on. It could have been an isolated incident, but for her to get that angry, to cause it to lead to this big, I think that maybe, either they need to maybe go to some counseling or maybe they should just part ways a little bit. But that's just my opinion on that. We're going to move on, though, to another person that's, got in their feels a little bit. Tom Brady posts some little shady things after it was announced and it was hit headlines that ex-wife Giselle, I do not know how to pronounce her name for the life of me, y'all. I was really trying. I've put it in YouTube pronounce. I've put it in Google and had to say it back to me, and I still could never get it. But we all know Giselle from being Giselle. So Giselle came out and she is pregnant. She is about 5 or 6 months with her new boyfriend, who was her jiu-jitsu trainer, Valentine. That's his last name. And, it had been reported that Giselle did tell Tom Brady and their children, they have 2 children together, Benjamin and Vivian, they're preteens. I think one's a teenager. And then, Tom Brady had another son from a different relationship that he actually brought into his marriage. So she loved all 3 of them like they were her children. And in plenty of interviews, she's come out and said she loves family. After she was a global supermodel phenomenon and became a wife and a mother, she was like, that's the greatest gift on earth. I just love being a mother. And she really honed into that motherhood. So I'm not surprised that she went and had another baby, because when I heard her talk in that interview, I was like, wow, she actually loves what she does. She, in terms of being a mom, she loves her children. She really gives her all to do that. And I'm also not surprised that there was talks before that having another baby in their marriage was on the table. However, if we're being honest, a lot of the reports were saying, Giselle was unhappy for a long time that Tom Brady was not around. He wasn't there. Yes, she supported him in everything that he did, and that he was the GOAT of football, as we know, but he also was never home. He did not retire for a long time. He retired and unretired, and I think it became a lot on her. And then, of course, there was the whole, she was messing with her trainer. She did a casting on him, was messing with the trainer before their marriage even ended. And, there are people are saying this moved on too fast. Now, mind you guys, they broke up and it was announced and they got divorced and everything between September and October of 2022. We're now in 2024. This is November of 2024. So people are like, she moved on too quickly. But, even she said in an interview that, when one door closes, you just got to move on and another one will open. And I think that it's kind of unfair that not me, but people are like, she was cheating the whole time. Tom Brady speculated at that. And, it was just too soon for her to get pregnant. Her being 5-6 months pregnant is no way. She moved on too quickly with this trainer boyfriend thing. It's like, well, how long did you expect her to hold on to her previous life? She wanted to be married. She wanted to have a family. She wanted to be with her husband at some point. This man literally played football for 2 decades. At some point, was your family not enough? And like I said, he retired and then he unretired. And I think that was really the boiling point in their marriage, in my opinion. Again, we don't fully know everything and we just have these speculations and allegations. But I really think that him unretiring and coming back was probably the breaking point for her. And she probably was working herself out of that marriage, because I do believe that she wanted to be married and she wanted to have a family with him. And she just got to the point where it was just too much. It was too much. She was over it. And she was ready to move on. And that's what I think. I don't think that it was anything other than that. Could she have started the affair prior to? Probably. Not my business to tell. I don't know. But his little shady post, he posted, one was this long quote. The other one was a song. I think it was by Landslide. And he was like, "Oh, Mira, what is love?" And, it's just like, oh, mirror in the sky, what is love, after the post. And it's like, Tom, you knew that she was going to announce it. So the little shady post afterwards is just too much. Also, they said on Twitter, it was like a post and delete. He was like, can the inner child in my heart, get past this or whatever, meaning like he was going to be petty or whatever. And like I said, there were allegations that she may have been, unfaithful in her marriage with him. But again, that was never confirmed nor denied. And I don't blame her for moving on. You got to move on, babes. She's 44 years old. We don't have time to be waiting around. If you want something, go after it and go get it. Period. Right? And speaking of another person, New England is in here. I talked about New England last show too, right? But this time there's a current New England Patriots player in Jabril Peppers who was arrested on October 7th. He was charged with assault and battery with a dangerous weapon, and possession of a Class B substance, what has been, they think, is cocaine. Now, there was a caller in the house that called and said, hey, there's a domestic dispute between 2 people. It was him and his girlfriend. And he was charged essentially with strangling her, which is strangulation. He was arraigned. Obviously, he's going to say not guilty. And if you don't know who he is, he's a safety. He's 29 years old. He's been with the team since 2022. He was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in 2017. So he's been in the game quite some time. He has court on November 22nd. So they said, yeah, you're going to have to hold this thing out. He did not play with the team. And rightfully so. As they always say, we're investigating this. We're going to do our due diligence. We're going to let the courts handle it. Boo. But young man, you need to keep your hands to yourself. I don't know what was going on because they don't give you the full details. But I'm going to keep you updated like I did with this Ashland topic. It's just sad that you, sir, you're bigger than her regardless. It doesn't matter what anybody's doing. I am not a person that, y'all know how I feel by now if you've been watching the show and keeping up. I'm not a fan of domestic violence. I'm not a fan of domestic violence. I'm not a fan of domestic violence with anything. I don't put it past them. I don't have any heartfelt. I don't feel any type of way about it. I'm really disgusted and I really just hate it. And I feel like if he did do it, obviously, these are just allegations until it's proven in the court of law. But if he did do it, then he deserves everything that is coming to him, because stop putting your hands on women. Take your anger and your aggression out on the field. This is not the time to do it when you're at home and you're doing it in front of people for them to have to call. And it must have been super duper bad for them to have to call the police on you because you could not control yourself. This is not okay. Another thing that's not okay, moving on to the last topic, it's going to be a twofold, but it's not okay, in my opinion, that women who are trans women come out and expose men, and especially football players. So the latest news story is how there's now 2 trans women. I thought it was one woman and she was exposing 2 different men. They're both exposing players after the election this year. So Le'Veon Bell went on to Twitter and he was like, I don't want my daughter to have to compete or share a locker room with men. So this transgender woman, Lex, her name is Alexis, but she went on and she was like, well, I find it funny that people are so transphobic, or people have issues with trans people, but they want to,
mess with us and sleep with us. And they want to be with us. So she decided that she was going to go and expose him and expose any other players who, she feels as though is against whatever she, who she is and what she stands for her and her community. So she went out and she posted the DMs of him, sending the DMs, and she was like, I have trans in my bio, so you knew who I was, and all those things. And then he came out and responded and was like, she tried to trick me, but still, I don't want men in bathrooms with my daughter, period. I still feel the same way. And for me, it's like, I don't agree with the whole exposing thing, because if you say that you're a woman, then if a man is attracted to you, then why is this like a I'm exposing you type of thing? And it also could put yourself in danger. Like I think about the danger of this, because if a man does not know and then you expose him like that to the world and you publicly embarrass him, sometimes that don't go out too well. So I would be afraid to even do anything like this. I mean, just in my opinion. But it's just also like, I get what he's saying too. Like, even though if I was attracted to you, if I did do something to you, it doesn't mean that I still can't also think and have the same notion of, I do not want my daughter in rooms with biological men. And that's just something that has been a trend, something that's been going on. And she's put this all over her story, and it's gotten messy. At the end of the day, if you are supposed to be a woman and you want to be treated like such, then you need to carry yourself in that manner and in that way. Just my opinion. Another trans woman has come out and she is exposing Antonio Brown. And she is, she exposed him for coming in the DMs. She posted a video and he said sexy. Antonio Brown is one to slide into DMs. I know firsthand. I have seen a girl that I have been with. She was one of my dance sisters, and she said something to him and he slid right back in those DMs, honey. So he do be sliding in the DMs, and he put out all of the DMs and all that. So it was just like, the things that they were saying, where he was inviting her out, and her name is Twisted Genius on Instagram if you want to go see that. And I'm going to also post the receipts there. But it's just like, she decided to call him out again because alleging that he is against the whole trans movement, or he doesn't want his, children being in rooms with biological men and things. And they just feel like it's time for me to expose this. And that's exactly what they did, expose the DMs. And I mean, and they are right there. Antonio Brown has not come out and said anything toward this. He has not confirmed or denied or even clapped back. And honestly, it's like, well, why, what should you? Why would you? I'm not sure. I don't like it though. What do you guys think about this? Let me know. I am going to keep an update on this topic as well, because I want to see how it unfolds. Another one that I have, but I'm going to have to end the show. I'm running out of time, and I will bring it up next time because I have to do more research, is that Young Miami and Stefan Diggs are allegedly a pair, but he is also being investigated because he has had a relationship, or an attempted relationship, to drug and sleep with a man and his brother, from what I know, that he arrived to rob him. So they're currently going through like some type of lawsuit case, and I'm going to dive deep into it because I want to know before I actually get into it and share more tea on that. But remember last time we talked about Young Miami and Stefan Diggs and the whole situation of how it could be wrapped to Cardi B. So this is going to be my preclude for next week's show. So make sure you are staying tuned, locked in on social media at PG Love Sports on all social media platforms. I love you guys. I can't wait to see y'all next week. Make sure you tune in and lock in. Bye.